right. Hey, everybody. Oh, my phone's going off. Welcome. It is Thursday. It's pouring down rain outside. We had freezing rain this morning. So it's pretty gross outside. Not fun navigating a wet backyard with crutches, but I survived. Let me turn down this music. Oh, the music's off. There we go. Close iTunes. There we go. Well, how's everybody doing? Say hi if you're in the chat and if you're live. What's fun about this table behind me is you can see future projects. I'm shooting a YouTube video this weekend. We're going to do another instance of Steven identifies things by touch. We're going to do iPods. So there's a bunch of iPods over there and some PC components for something. So anyways, today we're going to do like a pretty typical what's in my tech bag. Thought it'd be a fun, kind of easy stream for a Thursday. We can hang out for a bit and see what's in here. So probably not a lot of surprises if you follow my shows or anything like that, but I still think it's a fun activity to go through it. It was funny. I said I was going to do this, and then like 10 minutes later, MKBHD posted his video, but we're not playing on the same level at all, so not too worried about that. Let me switch to my overhead. Hopefully this is one of the last days too where my screen is off to the side. I've got some plans coming for this. All right, so backpack, camera, other camera right there. And we'll just go through this. So this is the Tom Ben Cynic. They have the Synapse for a really long time in two sizes. The Cynic is kind of an updated version of it with a better backing and better padding on the bottom. I've been a Tom Ben fan for a long time. Anytime I leave Tom Ben, I always come back. So this is the smaller Cynic. I think I forget the liters, but this is the smaller of the two. I had the bigger one, but when I switched down to the new MacBook Pro from a 16-inch, I switched back to this bag. I love the orange. It's like 512 pixels orange, kind of. And I got my relay pin there. So this is the original relay pin. I brought a couple others. We have one on the store now that's like flat. And then we have this one. You can see that looks like the original iPod. We had t-shirts like this. This pin is just for like relay friends and family. So we give those out sometimes. But I like kind of the original, the teal and white on the orange. So I got my relay pin there. So I would say we start on the outside and move our way in. How does that sound, everybody? Does that sound good? So the Cynic and the Synapse, the pockets are all basically in the same place. You have a small pocket here. So I've got my Field Notes notebook. This is actually normally in my pocket, but I put it in here for the video. I write things down in here on phone calls, little lists as I'm doing things around the studio or at home. I scan these when I fill them up. I fill one up about once a month. I scan them and then I store them. If you've seen pictures of the shelves here in the office, I've got like the first year I think is 2010, 2011. So I've got almost a decade of Field Notes saved. A wallet, which is another Tom Ben item. They make these cool wallets. I like this one a lot. It's very small. What else is in here? AirPods 2. I don't like the AirPods Pro. They don't really work for me. These are the AirPods 2. They're actually my third pair of AirPods overall. I had some, my original pair died, and then, anyways, I got the 2s. So, they're there. Does everybody else's AirPod case, I don't even want to open this. Like, does everyone's AirPod case look really gross on the inside? Mine surely does. Emma has the purple version. Yes, I love Tom Ben's colors. This is actually the first backpack I've had in a long time that's not black or gray, and I really like the orange. So next in here, I have a St. Jude pen. You can see that. These are magnetic, and they go on like this, like that. So I have this for if I'm going into a meeting or something, if I'm wearing a jacket, I like to have one on me. And a cool thing that St. Jude employees do, AllSac employees do, is if someone asks about them, you're supposed to give it to the person who asks. So I've given a bunch of these away over the years. So they always have one of those in there. And I like the brushed nickel. They have a bunch of different finishes. But I like this one. Okay. Up next, I have 2 challenge coins. I have the Relay Challenge coin, which you haven't seen if you haven't seen before. On one side it has Creative, Curious, Obsessive, and then the other side is that same sort of original iPod design. It's the Relay Challenge coin. And then I also carry, just in a sleeve so they don't like bang around in there, I have the Mac Power Users Episode 500 Challenge coin. So the reason I carry these is that I got stopped in the airport once and someone asked me to show them my Relay Challenge coin, because the idea is you're supposed to carry them on you, and I didn't have one. So when I got home from that trip, I pulled one of these out of sort of my cold storage of all of our old merch and carried one with me. So Relay Challenge coin. I also have one of each on my desk. I think that's it for the small pocket. This bigger pocket, I don't have anything in it right now, but it holds a water bottle or something else. You can put an umbrella in it, but I keep a water bottle in it. It's over on my desk right now. So on these side pockets, these are definitely smaller than on the bigger Synapse or Cynic backpack. So anyways, here I have just a small cleaning cloth, LED flashlight. That's fun. It comes in with a belt loop because sometimes you need a flashlight on your belt. Very, very handy when we do live shows. That's why I carry one in my bag. And then a Sharpie and a pen. I use Uniball Jetstream pens, so I got one on my notebook, one here, and like a ton of them in a coffee mug on my desk. And then this other pocket over here, I keep a small camera. This is the Sony ZV-1, so it came out this year. It's very similar to the RX100, except that screen flips around. So you can see that there. Absolutely huge if I am doing a video project. Really like this camera. I've been really happy with it. It also has a mic input. I used this on my first couple of streams, but I had some issues with it, so I'm using the webcams. But really, really handy little camera. Someone asked, do you use AirPods 2 because the Pros don't fit well in the ear? They fit okay for me. I don't really like active noise cancellation. It makes me feel funny. And so I ended up just sort of giving up on the AirPods 2. Work well enough for me. They fit really well. So it was more about the features weren't a good fit for me. All right. Yes, Mary spells her name M-E-R-R-I. It's really weird. So this bottom pocket here, in the bigger bag, I could keep a bag in here with stuff, but this pocket's too small, so things are just in here loose. I have a multi-port AUKI charger. Is that how you say it? AUKI? Anyways, it's USB-C power delivery, USB-C and USB-A. It's pretty heavy, but it's also pretty small. It's like a GAN charger, so I keep that in there. Some cables, so I've got USB-A to Lightning, USB-C to USB-C to Lightning, USB-C to USB-C, and Apple Watch charger. I don't know. I need to go through some of this. A couple more USB-C cables, short ones, because I also keep 2 SSDs in here. These are the old Samsung T5s. I've got a 250 just to have some additional space if I'm working something. And here you can see SHVMs. I have some virtual machines on here, a couple old versions of Mac OS 10, and I have a Windows 10 VM on here as well. That I don't ever use, but they're there. And then USB to micro USB, which is really long. This powers a lot of stuff, so I find that having a long one is nice. And then in here, I have a little plastic baggie with regular ear pods, the wired ones. And then I have also in here, this is why it's in a bag, a Lightning to 3.5 and USB-C to 3.5 adapter. So if I'm flying or traveling, I need to use wired earbuds, I have the adapters for that. the VMs mostly is Windows 10, and I think I've got like maybe El Capitan or something on here too. I don't know. I haven't mounted this in a really long time. I used to really need a Windows 10 VM a lot when I was doing more consulting, but I don't do very much anymore, so it kind of fell by the wayside. But I need to clean this up. I don't need this many cables down here. In fact, I'm going to set this cable aside and put it somewhere else. But the idea is that I have one charger that can do everything, and basically any charging cable I would need. So I make our way on the inside. One quick thing else on the outside. Tom Ben sells these straps. So if you can see this, it would be excess, so I'm just hanging off, and it's a little elastic band, so you double these over and then it kind of tidies that up. I'm a big fan of these, so you don't have extra long straps going everywhere. So anyways, inside, this bag actually opens flat, so we'll open it flat here. We'll start with this. This is a really old Tom Ben snake charmer. I don't know if they still sell this, but basically it's just a bag to hold cables. On this side I have a 61 watt power adapter for my MacBook Pro and this long charging cable. So I can charge my MacBook Pro. This too would charge my MacBook Pro, but this is a pretty new addition. So I have my MacBook Pro charger in here as well. And then on the other side is mostly just dongle town. So Ethernet cable. I have the CalDigit Thunderbolt mini dock. I bought this going into the podcastathon because I was afraid that USB-C wasn't going to be enough. And turns out this didn't work for what we needed because we were doing some weird HDMI stuff. Anyways, it has 2 HDMI out, two USB, and 1 Ethernet. I'm probably going to swap this back out for the one I was using that also included an SD card reader. So in here, I've tried to minimize the number of dongles I carry, but you never know what you're going to need. So here are all the dongles. I've got Thunderbolt 3 to Thunderbolt 2, and to go with that, Thunderbolt 2 to DVI, in case I ever need to plug into something DVI. And this also, of course, gets me to a bunch of Thunderbolt 2 adapters. I have all my Thunderbolt 2 adapters, but they're all in the drawer. I have Apple's. I have both of Apple's fancy ones. I got these because my wife used to be a MacBook Adorable user, and so I bought these for her. Now she has a MacBook Air, doesn't need them, but I kept them around. USB, VGA, power, HDMI, and USB. This is a camera connection kit for Lightning, but I don't have, I guess the only Lightning device I have is my phone, so I'm not going to carry this anymore, so I'll put that over there. A couple USB-C to USB-A, and then Lightning to SD card. Again, I don't need this anymore, so we're cleaning stuff out together. So what I want to do is I want to go back to my regular USB-C dongle instead of this crazy Thunderbolt one. But I just need to find the other one. It's in a drawer somewhere. So that's the snake charmer. A lot of this is carryover from my previous life where all I did was tech consulting. I did a lot of that for a long time, and I kind of got in the habit of carrying everything I could possibly need. And I've whittled this down over time. I still have a toolbox, like a fishing lure box that has a whole lot more stuff in it for if I go out and see a client, which is really pretty rare now. But if I do, I have everything in there that I could need. So this has been pared down over time, believe it or not. So up next is my 2018 11-inch iPad Pro in the fancy keyboard, which I really like. It has a sticker on the back, the single camera, and the big cutout, which is kind of sad. I'm not a big iPad user. As time goes on, I'm using the iPad basically just for entertainment. I really have no interest in upgrading this at any point until I feel like I really need to. So I'm definitely not doing much of any work on the iPad. Never really did, but I feel like it's really died off recently. I don't carry anything in this big pocket, so this big pocket here is just big and open. If I travel, various things will go in here, but I don't have anything in it now. One thing that's cool about these bags is they have all these hooks, and I took it out, but there was a system where you could like put stuff in here and clamp stuff down over it with these straps, and I took all that out. Normally I don't need much of that. And then last but not least is my new 13-inch M1 MacBook Pro. Got a neck sticker on it. That felt pretty fun for being the first Apple Silicon Mac. I've been so impressed with this laptop. We talked about this on Connected yesterday, but I bought my wife a MacBook Air, and I was so impressed that I bought this for myself, and 16-inch MacBook Pro is gonna have a new home. I've been so impressed with this M1 laptop. 2 ports kind of kills me, especially on the road as we do live shows and recordings and stuff. And so when there's a 4-port, that'll probably be the machine for me. At first, I really felt like the 13-inch was really small compared to the 16 I was coming from, or of course my big desktop setup. But I've kind of come to like the size, and it means I can carry a much smaller bag. So this notebook has been really fun to get to know and to use. I wrote a thing on 512 Pixels about using Better Touch Tool and Keyboard Maestro to customize the touch bar. You can do a lot of cool stuff with that. So yeah, that's basically what's in the bag most of the time. I can use a USB hub off of one of the ports, but especially with audio stuff, I really prefer to run directly into the machine and not through an adapter or through a dongle if I can help it. That's probably some voodoo, but it seems like a good idea to me to be able to run things straight in. So, for instance, one thing I did was all of our interfaces, like the ones that we travel with, I bought all USB-C cables for, so I didn't have to use, one of these things to pass audio through. It works, it totally works, but maybe it's superstition or something, but it just felt like to me that it would be a good idea to have stuff plugged directly into the notebook. And of course, if we're doing audio, I'm always going to have power going into one. But for doing audio stuff, I usually need at least one more port, if not 2. So yeah, so that's it. I say that's it. I have a table full of stuff here, but anyways, I want to show that off. I did a YouTube video about this a couple years ago, so the setup probably isn't all that different, but it's just evolved over time. And again, every time I do this, I try to pare some stuff down and really think about what I actually need day to day. And then when we travel or something for work or whatever, then bulk up when I need to. So yeah, so I think that's about it. Happy to answer any more questions. But yeah, it's always fun to kind of think about what you could need or what's reasonable to carry or what's not reasonable to carry. So put my stuff back in here. I'm gonna put these other cables in here, I think, and just leave that power stuff down in the bottom. SSDs, my adapters, get this big boy there. Like I said, I'm gonna switch back to my other one, I think. But for now, and I put this in the bottom of the bag here. So anything can just go on top of it. You can see that there. Let's see, headphones. Let's see, I'm actually going to rearrange some stuff when I put it back in. Is there one thing you're looking for to add to your bag? I don't know. It's very rare that I end up in a position where I actually need something that I didn't have. It'd always be nice to be able to carry more, in a small bag, but at some point weight and things become an issue. So I feel like I've struck a pretty good balance, sort of this iteration of what this looks like. But there's always room for improvement and evolution. Things like we went from Thunderbolt 2 to Thunderbolt 3, had to change a bunch of adapters out, right? There's always something. So this will go back here in the bottom. Put my charging stuff in this outer pocket. The other reason I have this on the outer pocket, so if I'm so much around this is built around traveling, which seems so silly right now, but to have it just easily accessible if I'm in an airport or in a plane or something. I need to plug something in. All right, get my challenge coins up. Where are the snacks? I don't really have snacks in my bag normally. Emma says, my bag usually has way more random stuff in it. Yeah, I mean, if I was getting out of the house more, like in the before times when I'd work from, I don't know, my brother's office or work from, you know, there's a coffee shop around the corner, that sort of thing, I probably would end up with more stuff in here randomly. But because I've mostly been home, I feel like there hasn't been a lot of other opportunity for other things to sneak in here. But putting a mask in here would be really good. Your bag is missing an iPod. No, it's not. But if you weren't here at the beginning, this weekend, Mary and I are filming another episode of Steven Touches Things While Wearing a Blindfold. I'm going to try to identify iPods. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm sure it's going to be a disaster because a bunch of iPods. I think that's going to be way harder than anything we've done before. So look for that hopefully on Monday or Tuesday on the YouTube channel. And I think that'll be a lot of fun. I may stream it here too. Just let it play here. I'll let y'all know on Twitter. So anyways, I think that's it. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me on a Thursday. It's rainy and cold here, so now I just want to go take a nap, but I got some more work to do. So I'll see y'all next week. Have a good one.